You're listening to UCW Radio.
In your face.
What we got here is a failure to communicate.
Oh, have I got your attention now?
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
You know what I mean?
Money to be made in a place like this.
Money never sleeps, pal.
You're crazy. Don't run when you lose. Don't whine when it hurts.
You know what it takes to sell real estate?
It takes brass.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
All right, welcome to Money Never Sleeps, the show where we talk about anything and everything that impacts the flow of money from around the corner to around the world. First, I'm not going to go into too many, single stocks or the markets. I think it's a good thing that President Trump is going to be meeting with the North Korean leader. Okay. I think it's interesting how that all worked out. You know, the guy came in and he scared the world. Nuclear, everything's nuclear. And now, when everything gets settled down, President Trump's going to look pretty good for stifling that. And this guy is going to be, he may be looked at a little bit differently, maybe a little better for his country. Who knows? But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. I want to talk about Goldman Sachs a little bit. First, let me say that the passing of the guard at Goldman Sachs is going to be a very interesting one, with rumors abundant about that Lloyd Blankfein is going to be retiring before the end of the year. You know, that means the successor has to be lined up way before then. And I think that they have this all figured out. This is how they do things. This is how they roll. All right. They get everything's already predetermined, for the most part, but the public doesn't know. So you're not going to know until you have to know. If you ever want to see a true leader, like Jamie Dimon, with JP Morgan, I mean, he's a true leader. So if you ever want to see a true leader steer a ship through the most turbulent waters, well, Blankfein is that leader, that captain, that guy that you would look at because of the things that he's done. Look, anyone can steer a company through the good times, just like any captain can steer a ship through perfect weather. You're really not getting any turbulence. I mean, how many mistakes can you make? And any mistakes that you can make, you can correct them really quickly, right? I mean, you can't go wrong. But those guys, hey, I wouldn't call them true leaders. I wouldn't call them true captains. To me, they haven't proved themselves. The people that I call true leaders are the people that prove themselves. They had the battles. They went to war. They're warriors. They're boardroom warriors, and they have helped to take companies that were suffering and struggling or got knocked down, and they were able to bring them back up. You try taking a CEO who comes into a situation like that. They take the position. They take that position at the worst possible time for a company, and they turn around, leaving it so much stronger than when they came into power. Now, that's a leader. And if you have a captain that steers a ship through horrendous waves and crazy turbulent weather, well, that's a captain you want on your side. Blankfein, during his tenure, increased the value of Goldman Sachs by almost 75% over a dozen years. That's incredible. Not a bad track record, not a bad guy to have on your side. So I'm sure he's still going to be there as a consigliere and going and giving his advice to the next captain of Goldman Sachs, captain of financial industry. So it's going to be it's going to be an interesting journey, I think. As we sit on the sidelines and just see what's going to happen. So good luck, Lloyd, and may your next chapter be as epic as this one, as you had in your Goldman Sachs years. Now, moving on. For the rest of the show, I'm going to be talking about cryptocurrency regulation in the cryptocurrency arena, and really my opinion, my view on what's going on. We're not going to have a long-winded show today. Normally, we're going for about a half hour, so we'll see how this goes. I really don't have anything scripted for this. I am just going to be sharing my opinion and my view on what's going on. Regulation is coming. I've been saying it for the longest time. I've been saying it. If you listen to the past shows, The Money Never Sleeps, I've been saying it over and over again. And I'm not saying it to hear myself speak. I'm saying it because it's a reality, and this regulation is going to come. And when it does come, I promise you, that 99% of what you see out there in the crypto market will be gone. Bye-bye. Gone, because, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. And you're going to have a lot of investors who bet on the wrong horse. They were following the hype. Okay? And there's a very good chance they're going to get burnt. And this is my opinion, that you're going to have people who are going to lose a lot of money. With ICOs, as far as investors are concerned, that the ICOs, it's interesting how that works. Initial coin offerings. When this first came to light, I looked at it and I said, initial coin offering, okay. I guess it's kind of like an initial public offering. And basically, if you have a company and you're issuing coins instead of stock, yeah, it is an IPO, but you're calling it an ICO. So you're cloaking it behind there. The issue that you have is not only, going through the security laws, circumvention. Basically, with these ICOs, you have investors that were going in, and still, they're probably, going in now with some ICOs that are they're dwindling. They're dwindling big time. So the ICOs are, these investors are going in, they're investing money, and nothing has been created. There's no platform developed, nothing. They're investing it. They're looking for the grand slam. They're looking for, hey, I'm going to buy it at a penny and sell it at $1,000. They're looking at their next house, their beach house, whatever the case may be. They're looking at something grand. But at the end of the day, the reality is with these ICOs, man, you're going in, you don't know what's going to happen, if it's ever going to get created, because there's no guarantee that they created. They're giving you their vision. The quote-unquote white paper, the ICO white papers, people ask me, hey, let's look at the white paper. Okay, well, basically all you need to know is what it's for and look at it. If it's developed, go for it. So they're going and they're investing in something that's not developed. So they run a risk. Okay, and whoever's issuing, the issuers of the ICO, they're not guaranteeing you anything. They're not even guaranteeing you that they're going to issue the coins. Okay, granted, you have some ICOs for some coins that are value. Okay, and that's the 1% that will last. Again, 99% will fall out of bed, and wow, it's going to be something else. The SEC and CFTC, they will impose regulations that will shake the foundation of what has been in place for the past, 18 months. Okay, because they're looking at it like, wow, you have these ICOs and they have to protect investors. Okay, so they're looking at the ICOs, they're looking at everything that's going on, and you have some utility coins out there, utility tokens as well. You have coins that are being issued in lieu of stock. See, that's the problem. When you have a company that is issuing coins and they're raising money by issuing these coins for the purpose of building their company, my friends, come on. That is an initial public offering without being an initial public offering. So how many securities laws are you circumventing at that point? I'm not going to even call them violations, but circumvention, no question about it. They're circumventing the securities laws that are in place to protect investors, that are in place, to make sure that people are doing things the right way. You have some ICOs out there that were being brought out as scams, but people are giving them money because they're looking for that grand slam. It's like the heyday of the penny stock era. People are putting their money in penny stocks, figure, I'm going to buy something for a penny, I'm going to sell it at $1 or a dime. So they get excited about that. Great, you want to get excited, something like that, go buy a lotto ticket. You have to look at coins that have value. And that's the key thing. If you're looking at any crypto, you have to look at what is there. What's the value? Okay, I've said it before. Bitcoin, look, they will survive. As peer-to-peer. That's the grandmother of them all. And they continue to go. It was never an ICO. Key thing, never an ICO. So it never raised money. It was developed and created, and it's a decentralized system, and it's going to continue to keep going. Price-wise, who knows? The fluctuations in the prices are ridiculous. You have crazy swings, not by 1%. You have 10, 15, 20% swings here and there, and so on and so forth. But traders love it. CFTC loves it. Especially if you're trading the futures, and if you're a gambler, if you love Vegas, this is where you need to be, trading the swings, and you make the spread and so on and so forth. So there's nothing wrong with that. Just a little heated, a little dangerous potentially, but you know what? No risk, no reward, right? Okay, now Ethereum. Look, Ethereum will survive. I like their business model. They allow companies and individuals to go create blockchains and coins and do all this stuff. Now, that's where, I'm going to see, in my opinion, I think Ethereum will take a nice hit because of the number of blockchains with coins. They're not just utility tokens, loyalty tokens, things like that. These are actual coins that people, that groups, had ICOs for. Okay, and that's going to hit a brick wall. So I think it will come to a point that Ethereum, they're not going to be able to go and have these coins like they had before unless these groups comply with SEC rules and regulations or CFTC rules and regulations that will be imposed. So I don't know what they're going to be, but I know that if you don't comply, you're going to have a problem. Okay, Ripple, look, they're going to have to comply. There's no question they're going to have to comply with whatever filings will come down the pike. The thing with Ripple, they've always said that, they had their stock and the coin was, I don't think it was an ICO. It could have been an ICO. I'm not sure. But the coin is not based on the business, maybe based on a portion of the business, but I think they'll be okay. And I think that they'll comply. I think they're set to comply, which is going to be a good thing. Okay, now let's go into the exchanges. Now that's the interesting part. You have so many exchanges all over the place, and they're taking in people's coins. They take their coin, you're holding it in their wallet, so on and so forth, and you're gonna have exchanges. Man, they're gonna have to register and give transparency. So guess what? No more hiding in the shadows. You can't hide. And of course, the tax consequences will be a part of that for those that made a bit of cash in a lot of the cryptos. If you were involved in an ICO or something like that, you're going to wind up having to reveal things at some point. And the exchanges are going to have to comply, or they're going to have to shut down, because if they're active, okay, and they're active as an exchange, I guarantee you that, it's going to happen here in the U.S., there's no question. It's going to happen in Europe, no question. It's happening in Asia. It's going to happen all over the world, because no one wants the Wild Wild West scenario. You can pop open an exchange and go and take people's coins. The thing is, you have your coins at an exchange, realistically, you don't have those coins yourself. The exchange is holding them. So if the exchange is shut down, guess what? Your coins can go bye-bye easily. And that's why you have to be careful. That's why if you have your coins if you have your coins on the coin, let's say whatever system it is, on the system itself, guess what? You're okay there. But now, if you transfer your coins somewhere else to an exchange because you want liquidity, so on and so forth, or you have another wallet, you want to put it there, you run the risk of something happening. If that happens, guess what? There's no No blockchain, no coin, no issuer that can go and help you at that point because you made a decision to move it. So you have to actually deal with it. Okay, so the exchanges are going to have to register, and that's going to be interesting. You're going to have a lot of exchanges that are going to fall out, and I'm just concerned with the investors that have their coins there. My suggestion is to find an exchange that is actually set to comply. Okay, and if they're set to comply, and you're pretty comfortable with them, okay, then you're okay. But if you're not sure and you're not sure about the exchange, do your due diligence. If you're not sure, make a move. Move them out. Do what you got to do to protect yourself as investors. Okay, now I want to talk about pecu novus. I've been talking about this on other shows, on other episodes, and honestly, I'm a big advocate of this, because pecu novus is ready for regulation. That's the beauty of it, and that's why I loved it from the time, it came out. It's ready for regulation, asset-backed, it's compliant, and it was never, ever, ever an ICO, ever. Okay? No funds were raised to go create it. The platform was created, and it was developed, and it came out, and slowly but surely it began to grow, and still, it's still getting out there, and I think that the advancement within the network is continuing to get better and better. Okay, it's not on an exchange. Okay, the API has not been issued, and that has been for a reason. And I know the reason. The reason is that the developers, the engineers, the people involved, they wanted pecu novus to be prepared for regulation. So they had to make sure that everything was right, and they were looking to, protect, the network, the system, everything, anyone that was involved, because you have investors involved that own that I guess acquired coins wherever they acquired them. 80% of the coins issued from pecu novus are being used for investment purposes. So you have 100 million coins out. You have 80% of that are being invested into companies to back all the coins. Okay, and that's where it gets interesting, because now these investments are being made into various companies and situations that are just adding value to the asset fund, because you have the pecu novus asset fund, which is actually backing this. Okay, so now all these assets are there for the purpose of the coins, and that's where it gets even further interesting, because you have true value, you have intrinsic value there, as opposed to most of the coins. And again, you can go through a whole list of them that are out there, and they're issued, again, ICO issued. There's nothing behind them. What the ICO was for in the first place, I don't know. What, to go pay 2 dozen or 3 dozen engineers to create this? That's baloney. You don't need 3,000 engineers to go create it. If you believe in something, you're going to go do what you need to do to make it happen. You're going to do what you need to do to make it happen. Okay, and again, with pecu novus, the functionality, honestly, if you go on there today, you're going to see new functions on there. I believe that a QR code was just implemented, which I thought was really cool. It was a really nice surprise to see that on there. And there are other things, and I'm actually going to do an entire show dedicated to going through the functionality of the network, because I think it's important. A lot of people may not know how everything works, but because I'm so again, I'm an advocate of it, I'm so deeply involved with this, that I am going to share that with you guys so that you can get a better feel. Because I know a lot of you that own it, holding it, watching it, you want to know a little more about it. So it's good to get educated. You need to get educated on whatever you're involved with. There's no question. Okay, and with pecu novus, look, it's being used, and I know it's being set to be used, and it's being used for some import export deals. And there's so many different functionalities with it, business uses that are going to be that are there that people are going to be figuring out. That it's just going to add more and more value, because now that's part of the intrinsic value of the uses of it, beyond it being asset backed. So I just, again, for me, the value is there, and pecu novus will be one of the 1% that will survive, not only survive but thrive. Okay, as all of the cryptos are getting they're getting clobbered right now. Because they're feeling the pressure. Now you don't have the exchanges there for, to go and provide your liquidity. You have a lot of, people. You have a lot of issuers. I guarantee you, they're shaking in their boots now. They're like, oh my God, we have to go and see how we can comply, or if we can, what do we do wrong, what do we do right, and so on and so forth. Do I think a vast majority had good intentions? I think you had. Enough that had good intentions. You had people that had bad intentions. That's the truth. They try to scam people, and they probably did. You had a few that got rooked. Okay, you have a few they got few groups that really they didn't just get a slap on the wrist. They got a little more than that. Okay, and then you now with crypto, it's interesting. People have a misconception. Blockchain is the underlying technology behind cryptocurrency. Okay, crypto is one thing, blockchain is something else. Now, I think people get confused when they see a company that says that's selling pizza. All of a sudden, you know what? We're a blockchain company. You have Overstock.com. Basically out of nowhere. Okay, now we invested in blockchain because we're gonna have our own coin. We're doing an ICO. We're raising this. You have groups out there that are starting hedge funds, and it's all based on crypto. Great, it's fantastic. It's taking on a life of its own. You have coins out there that have value. Okay, you just have to look and see what the value is. Okay, if you can't see the value, then, you should kind of look elsewhere. This is not, it's risky business. It's risky business, so you have to, really do due diligence, really understand, and really know what it is that you're getting involved with. Okay, and again, for me, like Bitcoin, again, will be one of the ones that survive. Ethereum, yeah, it's going to survive too. Going to survive too, but I think it's going to take a hit. And the reason I say it's going to take a hit because of, again, as I said earlier, the blockchains with the coins and the ICOs and all that jazz that has been going on. But I like their business model. And pecu novus is going to survive. It's going to survive because it's ready for regulation. And it's going to continue, in my opinion, continue to grow and thrive. And I look forward to seeing what's going to happen next. And I'm excited about doing this next show where I'm going to be able to explain everything to you guys and really talk my head off about it all. I feel like I'm a cheerleader, but, when I see something that I like, that I see where the value is and I see what the potential is. I'm a tech nerd, okay? I love technology. I love what's going to happen in the future. Blockchain is the next layer of the internet. You have the World Wide Web, you had e-commerce, now you got blockchain, and it's a beautiful thing. Look, when I was younger, I was on messaging boards and so on and so forth. That was the original internet. That is the internet. Everything else is laid on top of the internet. So once you understand that, then you understand what's coming next. Because trust me, with companies like Amazon, and what Amazon is doing is amazing. Bezos, you got to give it to the guy. He's not afraid to invest in new things. He's looking at the future, not looking at the next year or two. He's looking at the next decade. Okay, Whole Foods. If they take over Target, and I see that being a possibility, that's going to be a good thing. Okay, they took over the doorbell company. Okay, people probably wonder, why did they take over a doorbell company? They took over a doorbell company because they're looking to get into home security. They're in your home, beyond Alexa. Okay, read between the lines. It's going to be something else. And if you want to Just look at futuristic movies and TV shows. That'll give you a good idea of what's going to happen, and it's going to happen. Okay, and I look forward to Pecu Novus being a part of this evolution that we're going to see in the world. Okay, and it's going to be good. It's going to be a good one. Okay. Anyway, I want to thank you for tuning in to Money Never Sleeps, and I'm going to be back with you. The next show that I am going to do, I'm going to be focused on what's going on with the functionality of Pecu Novus, because, again, I think it's important. I want to share that with you guys. So that's going to be the entire content of the next show. So stay tuned for that. And again, enjoy your weekend. And we'll be back with you on the next episode of Money Never Sleeps.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.
All opinions expressed by Louis Velazquez on the Money Never Sleeps radio show and its website are solely his opinions and do not reflect the opinions of the UCW radio show or their parent company or affiliates, and may have been previously disseminated by him on television, radio, internet, or another medium. You should not treat any opinion expressed by him as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of his opinion. His opinions are based upon information he considers to be reliable, but neither the UCW radio show nor its affiliates, parent companies, and or subsidiaries warrant its completeness or accuracy, and it should not be relied upon as such. The UCW radio show, Louis Velazquez, its affiliates, parent companies, and or subsidiaries are not under any obligation to update or correct any information provided on the radio show or on the website. His statements and opinions are subject to change without notice. No part of his compensation from the UCW radio show is related to the specific opinions he expresses. Please read the full disclaimer on MoneyNeverSleepsRadio.com.